Hello, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, your community leader, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. This week, I'm really excited. I feel like I always say that, but I really am excited. With January being Human Trafficking Awareness Month, it's a perfect time for the Women of the Channel community to get to know our Channel at Work partner, EverFree, and the amazing leader of that organization. So, welcome, Dr. Kelsey Morgan, CEO and co-founder of EverFree. Hi, Kelsey. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Jackie. It's so lovely to be here with this community as always.
Yes, and we're so excited to get to know you a little bit better. So let's start off with the icebreaker questions. Where do you live and where did you grow up if that's different?
I currently live in Orange, California, which is in Orange County, so not to be confused. Orange County, California. And I'm actually from just down the street from here.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Um, all right. What is a little known fact about you that you are willing to share with us?
Oh my goodness. Well, one little known fact is that I always get very stressed out when people say, tell us a fun fact, because my mind always blank. But most people do not know that I am a huge hockey fan, ice hockey. It really surprises people. Yes, I love ice hockey. I love going to Ducks games. I turn into a really wild person. I just get really competitive. So, fun fact.
I would love to see that. I would
Yeah.
love to see that. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, Kelsey. Well, let's pivot into more of your professional world and share with us what business accomplishment you are most proud of.
Yeah. So, I've had such an interesting career journey. I've been doing anti-human trafficking work for this is my 15th year in 2025. So big milestone.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And what I'm most proud about is the tool that we developed, the Freedom Life Map tool. It was a dream of mine that I had going all the way back to 2010 when I first entered into working on this issue and was really frustrated by the lack of data being used to combat human trafficking and support survivors. We all know in the corporate world and the for profit world how valuable data is. And the nonprofit world is really lagging in using that data to solve some of our biggest social issues. And the Freedom Life Map tool that we've developed, it does just that. It helps us use data to solve this problem and to ensure survivors get the support that's most effective and helps us as a community understand what's needed to stop trafficking and exploitation before it starts. So it's a dream come true to have this tool built, and it was actually how I got my PhD was through building it. So academic and professional accomplishment all in one.
Yes, congratulations. That is so amazing. Amazing. And you do not, oh, man, you continue to impress me year after year in every conversation that we have together. So that is an incredible accomplishment. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about some experiences or perhaps transformational moments that you've had in your life.
Yeah. So there's been many, as you can imagine. So working with incredible survivors from around the world, I feel like every day almost is a transformative
Yeah.
experience. Um, but there were a few back when I was living in Uganda in 2010. And um, there's these three girls that I will never forget. When I have a hard day, I really go back to their story and getting to know them. And um, so I think this was in 2011. I was living in Uganda, and we had two safe homes at the time, which are places where survivors come into to heal. We offer comprehensive care. And back in those days, the police, we were still working on training them to understand the issue, to identify victims. And so many of our referrals of survivors were from community members. So our team would go out into the community, help people understand what human trafficking was. And they were doing this in this really low income community in Uganda. And they came across this mother and her three girls. And the mother was likely a victim of human trafficking herself when she was younger.
Mm.
But at the time, she had been operating a brothel out of her home where her three children lived.
Wow.
And because of all of her abuse and exploitation, she had substance abuse disorders. And we met her right after her brothel had burned down because she had gotten drunk and the girls were still in it. They all barely got out alive. And so as a result, the girls came to live in our shelter. And the youngest of them was 4 years old. And it came out through their time with us that all of the girls were being exploited in this place. And we didn't know how involved the mother was, if she wasn't involved. But this 4 year old girl, her name was Queen. And she just captured my heart. And the first day that she came into the shelter, I was there. And I remember we were serving lunch and Queen ate bowl after bowl of rice. And she was so happy just to have a meal to eat in a safe place. And with time, Queen and her sisters started to feel safe where we were and they went back to school. And we didn't hear from their mom for a really long time. But about a year after them being there, the mom showed up. She had really gotten her life back together. She was healing. And so we started working on a plan for this mom to reintegrate the girls back into her home. And today, all three girls are with her. One of them is
Mm.
grown. She has two kids of her own. Queen is in high school, getting ready to graduate.
Wow.
Yeah, so that moment to me was really transformative because I think when we think about this issue, there's always like a bad guy in our mind, like a trafficker, and they're bad. And it's such a more complex issue than that. It's rooted in deep systems of abuse and exploitation of women, things that women have to do in order to survive and take care of their families. And it really taught me to look at things from a different lens and to look at how these issues are based in different systems of inequality and how we need to approach things to stop cycles of inequality so that we can really have
Mhm.
lasting impact.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that story. I can see how that would be transformative and very, very impactful. And it kind of, my next question was going to lead into what biases or stereotypes you've come across along the way and how did you handle them? And I can see that this is definitely one of those biases that now, you've made me and this community aware of. Did you have additional biases or stereotypes that you would like to share?
Yeah, yeah, that is a huge one. Trafficking is such a complex
Hmm.
issue, and because it's so complex, you hear one story of trafficking, but there's so many more ways that it shows up. So I feel like part of our job is always helping people understand kind of root causes and complexities. But for me personally, I started in this work when I was 21 and I founded
Yeah.
an organization a few years later. So I was 24 years old. And being a young woman has been extremely challenging. Walking into a room, I once had a man say to me, "Well, if you got $1 million, you wouldn't even know what to do with it." And I'm like, actually, I know exactly what I would do with those resources. And so, really having to overcome people seeing me as too young, a young girl. And one of the ways that I've overcome it is by being able to really show the impact of our work and letting the
Hmm.
impact speak for it. So not only do we have incredible stories, we have the data to back it up. And we can walk into a room, any of our team, and say, look, the numbers tell the story, change is happening. And it doesn't matter if I'm a young woman or not, look at the data.
Good for you. Good for you. I love that. We are almost at time, but seeing that you managed to be a mom, have a family, be a CEO of a company, and still get a PhD, I really don't want the community to miss out on some of your tips on how you protect or create that work-life balance.
Yeah. So I burnt out really early in my career from not having balance. And I know some people say balance is a myth, balance isn't possible, but I think balance is really important. And it may not look like a balance that's like this, but you have to prioritize. For me, I prioritize what's needed to keep myself healthy and to keep my priority
Mhm.
in line. And I just stay strong to those values and what those things are. So I really prioritize moving my body physically and as much as I can, fueling my body with things that make me feel good. That helps me a lot. I also am really blessed to have a flexible schedule and to set my own time. So I prioritize showing up for things with my daughter. I really prioritize not working late when I don't have to. So we work on a global schedule. There's early morning calls, there's late morning calls. But if I'm going to work 5:30, I'm going to let myself end at a normal time that day and spend time with my daughter, pick her up from school, do fun things. We live down the street from Disneyland, so I once a month will do a half day, take my daughter to Disney. It's just constantly keeping my values and what I want in line and checking in with myself. Am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of my family? How is work? And making sure that where your values are, your time is being spent in how those values are aligned. But lots of early
Thank
morning.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kelsey. We are so thrilled to be celebrating you finally as our Woman of the Week and getting the entire Women of the Channel community the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. So, again, thank you.
Well, we feel celebrated at EverFree year after year by all the incredible support this community provides us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, community members, please comment, continue the conversation. And if you haven't watched it before, there's a workshop out there that Kelsey did, I think it was 2 years ago now, on ways that you too can be aware of potential human trafficking signs. So I would highly recommend that workshop. So until next time, have an amazing week.